On today's Buckeye Roast with Ron and Q, we're taking a look at some of the worst takes ever given on the game. A quick look back, some comedic relief. Also, taking a look at what year of the game was the most anticipated for your fandom. We got some score predictions that are rolling in. We're going to take a closer look and discuss. And then also everything you need to know as we unpack head ball coach Ryan Day's press conference ahead of the Michigan-Ohio State game. I'm Chris Drew, and this is the Buckeye Roast with Ron and Q right here on Dead Air Sports. Make sure you continue to like and subscribe as we are on the way to 5,000 subs.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. We are back for another episode of the Buckeye Roast. It's your boy Ron James here with my guy QP Ski. Q, how you doing?
Not too bad. We're getting there. We're halfway through the week, almost to Thanksgiving, and obviously that much closer to the game. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. End of the work week, at least at my full-time job. But we are going to continue to work throughout the week here on Dead Air Sports as we continue to work our way to 5,000 subs. We are at 4,500 Q. Absolutely flying around here.
Yeah, rolling along. Obviously, keep saying hit that like button, that sub button, hit the likes and subs. So not much more we can ask. Appreciate all the members.
Q, I hope as we continue to grow this community that one day we can be put in a position to get paid to give awful content like this.
We're joined by the chair of the College Football Playoff Selection Committee, Hunter Yurachek. Hunter, not a lot of changes. You had to go all the way down to number 15 last week to find a team that lost when SC lost to Oregon. But there was a change at 6-7 with Oregon and Ole Miss swapping spots. How much of an impact potentially could it be on Ole Miss if it's determined they don't have their head coach in the field?
6-7. But seriously, Rich,
See, I feel like you would be a fan of this, and I
Q
to be like, come on, man.
I'm not gonna lie. That I've been laughing at every 6-7 video that has come out in the last year plus. I think it's dead. It's officially dead. That killed it. That was the first one where I was like, all right, it's over. It's officially over.
You should have known when you had the 4- and 5-year-olds doing it that it was nearing its end, because what's always after that? Old people. So you should have known by then.
Yeah, I feel like that right there was enough evidence to never watch the college football reveal show for the rankings ever again. If that's the type of content that they're putting out, I'll just wait. I'll just wait for the graphic.
I can't believe he did that on now. You know his family is back home like, oh, it's just like you just know.
But you know his family's back home with their hands over their face, but there's also probably at least 3 grandchildren in front of the TV losing their minds.
Oh my goodness. Can we move the show to another network? Jesus Christ.
Well, not ESPN, because if it's ESPN, you're getting more 6-7 jokes.
Yeah, we'll do it. Just move it over here.
All right. Well, I guess Q, since you're over 6-7, I'm over 6-7. Let's just get the show started.
Play the song.
How's a podcast? I mean, why don't you just tape it? What are you doing?
You don't have to tape it these days, Frank. You just record it right onto the computer.
Dead air.
Thank you for 4,500 subs. We're 500 away from 5,000, and I'm hoping to get there at some point Saturday. So make sure you continue to like, sub, share the channel, share it with a friend, leave a comment. That all helps us greatly as we continue to try to put out as much content as possible, good content as possible. I do want to kick it back to Ron and Q. Thank you guys so much, and then back to the boys.
Bro, I know Chris loves to do these videos because our numbers are running up, but that one looked like somebody behind the camera had a gun.
It's actually crazy because I usually have to remind Chris, hey, we need a new video. We added 100 subs. And he actually texted me this afternoon and was like, I'm recording 4,500. And we just snuck past 4,500. Peek behind the curtain. That video was recorded before we even hit that number. That much faith in the community. Q, I have a new cheat code.
What is it?
I feel like we sound better and smarter at doing this content when we show other people's awful takes. And Q, Chris said during the pregame show that we were going to be talking about some funny takes. No, this is just easily the worst take I've ever heard in regards to the game.
Last year just kind of ruined the rivalry.
What?
Last year just kind of ruined the rivalry.
Huh?
Last year just kind of ruined the rivalry. Kind of. I mean, it's still a very important game and it's still an intense rivalry, but you're led to believe that this is the most important game in the world, because if you lose this game, you are absolutely fucked. And you cannot lose this game. Your entire season hinges on this game. And then we lost the game and it was absolutely rock bottom. We were 20-point favorites. It was as the saddest I've ever been as an Ohio State football fan. And then you go on to win the national championship, and I think my attitude this year is like, once you've seen the boogeyman and you realize the boogeyman can't kill you, why be scared of the boogeyman?
Yeah.
So that's the part of to answer your
worst take I've ever heard, Q. he made the point and then just skipped over the part where he said it was the worst I ever felt. That just because you won a national, I remember how I felt after that game, and I'd like to not feel like that ever again. And even with the possibility of winning a national championship, even if the Buckeyes lose this game on Saturday, I don't want to feel that way. I would rather hear from any other fan base on the app than them. I don't want them to have any joy. I told you, this rivalry has seeped so far into my life that I root against the Lions just because I want to make sure that Michigan fans aren't happy on Sunday either. Like, I don't know how you could say that just because the Buckeyes could win a national championship, even with losing this game, that the game doesn't mean anything or it is less exciting.
See, he missed the point. He missed the point. He skipped all the way to the national championship. If something had a detriment on the game, and we've talked about this on the show, it was the invention of the college football playoff. Why is that? Let's rewind a couple of years. Remember that game? We had this quarterback. He wasn't well liked by the name of Kyle McCord. Going up to Michigan, what was it, a 2-3 matchup, I do believe? Everything's on the line. We lose that game at Michigan. Kyle McCord throws 2 picks, hands him the game, and we talked after this, and I said, Ron, the game will never lose its intensity. The game will never lose its importance, but we will never see another game like this where you walk in, there is one spot on the line, and the winner takes all, and the loser goes home. You got to watch them on TV, go try to compete for a national championship. So if it was anything, and this is before even the 12-team playoff, this is a 14 playoff. So if it was anything, the playoff would have been the one I would go with. But just the fact that Ohio State went on to win a national championship, it's like, does he not have Twitter? If you go on Twitter, all you're going to hear is, but they didn't beat us. Like, you may have beat everybody else. You may have won the natty, but you didn't beat us, and we still have that to hang over you.
Them screaming, show me the shirt with the Michigan score on it. Like, this, I don't like, for people, and this is an Ohio State fan saying that it's just devalued, and I just don't. Am I misconstruing his words? Let me.
Last year just kind of ruined the rivalry.
Ruin the rivalry? It's literally the only thing that I've thought about for 72 hours, and we're still, what? I'm not no mathematician. Once we get past 3 days, yeah. Once we get past 72, I'm like 72 is not going to get there. Take my socks off. 96 hours away.
Something like that. 3 days and some change.
3 days and some change. Q. It's all I've thought about. The Buckeyes won a national championship after losing this game. Are you any less excited about this one?
No, man. Every year, it didn't matter what happened after that. It was somebody got the bid to get back at this game. I mean, Ryan Day has talked about it. I mean, plenty of players have talked about it. Once you lose that, you got to go through hell for a whole another year for another crack at the game, and that's just part of it. That's why this rivalry is different, and people don't value it. I just remember times on Twitter where I had Texas fans telling me, "Y'all don't really care about beating Michigan like that," and I'm like, "You really just don't understand." Like for them, for a long time, it was, oh, you lose a bit, or you lose to Oklahoma, or you lose to Texas. Like, oh, we have our get back at the end of the season. Like we didn't have that, nor are we actually going to see that. Maybe not in the time being. You don't ever think Michigan Ohio State will play unless we go back and play in the national championship. Maybe it beats a championship, but the way it's looking and Oregon's rolling, we'll see about that. But like, it's this one shot to do it, and if you don't, you got to wait another year. We've had that, and that's been the difference between us and the other rivalries, and that's why this rivalry is above that, because you got to deal with it. And again, I don't know if he doesn't have Twitter. I don't know if he doesn't have friends. Even friends would call you. They don't even watch college football and be like, yo, you watched the game today? So he about to live under a rock until we won the Natty, but that's the only reason he can have that take.
Q, I'm already getting texts from my family of like old pictures from the game. Like, are you ready? Like, and they're not even Ohio State fans. Like, everyone knows what this week means to me and most of Buckeye Nation. So the idea that like I keep forgetting, it's such an insane take, and I can't remember.
Last year just kind of ruined the rivalry.
I can't go with it, Q.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, if you're an Ohio State fan, you just stop watching that show, or stop watching that guy. Maybe there's other great people in the show. I don't know what the show is, but if he's talking anything Ohio State now, I'm no longer listening. I'm telling you.
Hot take: he ruined the rivalry.
Yeah, he tried.
Q, we're talking about how the rivalry is not ruined and how excited we are for Saturday. Where does this rank all time for you in most anticipation before the game?
Out of all the games that we've had,
of games of chess that you've played. What do you mean?
I'm just thinking like the levels of anticipation. I mean,
this was your question for the show. You literally sent me this question, and then you asked me a follow-up to your own question.
This one ranks. I just asked you where do I rank the other ones. I mean, I have to think about it like it's gonna be up there because the number gets higher. What do we have? 2,800 some days a few days ago. Like that number gets higher every day. And it's just like, man, this is going to be a year we get over the hump. Now, I feel like this year's team has all the ingredients to do it. I used to get the calm before the storm. So I feel pretty confident as far as anticipation. I'm like, bro, we're going to go out there and take care of business Saturday. And I'm not even that worried about it. And this is not a Michigan team that I am worried about. So the anticipation is a bit lower than some others. But, I mean, it's got to be top 5, seeing that we just haven't beat them in almost 5 years.
Q, I mean, the anticipation for this one, it feels like it's ranking pretty high up there for me. I don't know where it would rank all time. What is your most anticipated game? Because for me, thinking about this, I would rank it pretty high up there because going back into my fandom, I became a Buckeye fan as I started looking for colleges and thought that Ohio State was where I was going to end up going. So my fandom started a little bit later in life, and we were rolling at this point in the rivalry. There was no anticipation. Like I said, I used to call beating Michigan a birthday. Like it was something that I expected to happen every single year. And for many years, there wasn't much anticipation. It was just kind of like a part of the holidays, like just watch the Buckeyes beat Michigan. And I guess the first year in media, us covering that Ohio State-Michigan game, the first rematch after the streak was broken, in 22, I think that was probably the most anticipation for me, given that was our, one of our first streams, our big streams on playback at the time, one of our first pieces of content around the game and just everything around that. I remember being in Columbus for the game. So I think that one is probably number one in anticipation for me, just because I was so confident in that year that, the Buckeyes were going to right the tide and just get things going. And to think we're here how many years later and still haven't got it done, it's kind of crazy to think about. But I feel I kind of have that giddiness as far as like I think we're finally going to get this done and right the ship, but we'll see what happens on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean that was definitely up there. I remember that. Oh, we got Jim Knowles this year. CJ Stroud's rolling out. Some early in the year hiccups, but like, we'll be fine. And of course, that one didn't end so well in disastrous fashion. As far as me, I have one that's more recent. I have one that's very early in my Ohio State lore, and I got to talk about the 2006 game. I mean, sort of just a couple years as Ohio State fan watching this team and kind of the hype around that game, and that's the 3:30 game. It actually went into night. If you remember, Bill Schimberger died with the night before the game, and there was a lot of talk, 1 versus 2 matchup. Man, there was really nothing like it. It didn't feel like a game. It really felt like theater. And and you had the 1-2 matchup. Michigan really only lost by 3 in that game. So you felt like maybe even a rematch in the national championship because they went on the road against the number 1 team, only lost by 3. You probably still deserve to be there. Now, we didn't know about Urban Meyer in Florida at the time, and he kind of washed that out the way. But I mean, the hype around that game, Troy Smith, Ted Ginn, like legends played in that game. Mike Hart, just a bunch of guys. Like the hype around that game, I don't think we've seen really anything like it. Now, if I had something close more recently, the 2023 one was kind of the one for me. And I talked about Common Core a minute ago. It's because you went in probably 2022. You felt pretty confident about that team. You're like, Jim Knowles is here, CJ Stroud. Like, I felt confident. Maybe you didn't.
No, so it's funny because Chris just did a reaction video or did a collab video with Johnny Olden Jr. and they were talking about when we did the reaction or the live watch party last year, and he was like, Ron was the only one that wasn't confident. Everyone else around you, and I was like, the year before, I was also nervous because you know what I mean. We're already 2 losses. I've watched it happen now. I'm a believer. I've seen it happen. Like I feel mortal at this point. And Hugh, I had this hoodie on during that game, and I spilled a coffee on my shirt during the first drive, and I went upstairs and I grabbed like a Tide pen, and I came back downstairs. And Kyle had just thrown the first interception. And like from there, like my entire mood was shot. So like I that game, I never really had good vibes. The whole day
that was CJ in 2022. He's on 2023.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of in 2022 was CJ, 2023 was Kyle.
Yeah.
And you said 2023 was the year that you were talking about.
Yeah, that's the year I was nervous.
And I'm talking about. So
2022, you were good with CJ and Jim Knowles.
Yeah, 2022, I was in Columbus, so that was the game that I was excited for. I was still believing. I'm like, this is the first year that we're gonna bounce back. And 2023 was the first year that I pulled up on Chris, and we were doing the Bleacher Report post game together, like live in person. And I was nervous that whole day about that game and how it was going to go. And I'm like, man, we're doing all of this production wise for this reaction. Like, how bad is it? Like, if it's 3 in a row, it's going to be insane. Like, how could it get any worse? And then I was back next year for the 4th loss in a row. So that year I was stressed. Yeah, that Kyle McCord year, I spilled something on my shirt before Kyle even threw that interception. By the time I walked out, bro, it just must just be a Kyle McCord thing because I could hear the national anthem being played in Heinz Field, and before I even got to my seat, Kyle threw 2 interceptions. So like, I don't know what it is watching Kyle McCord. Maybe I'm just the curse, but yeah, bro, 23 at that point, we were 2 losses deep. I did not have much faith going into that game despite being undefeated.
Yeah, and I mean, you're exactly what I'm about to say. That was my most anticipated game because I knew, I was like, this game is going to go with Kyle. Either he's going to come out and he's going to make plays like we've seen him be able to do, or he's going to fold it and we are going to be in a dogfight. I knew how good that Michigan team was, especially their defense, and the fact that they were probably going to be able to run the ball. I didn't have as much faith in Jim Knowles because I saw what happened the year before when we had a great defense and he torched that defense apart. And I'm like, we got Sonny Styles. I'm hoping for the best, and the best did not come that day. So that day for me, also too on the line of it was that first game of the playoffs for us. You win the big championship. You go off to, I guess they went off to play Alabama, but you win, you go off to play Alabama or whoever, or you lose, your season's over. And unfortunately, we lost, and that was the beginning of the end of that side of the Ryan Day era and the beginning of the start of the current Ryan Day era we're in. But that was one of those, this is the season right here, and I was heavily nervous in 2023.
Yeah, I was absolutely stressed. If I knew that you were going to that game, I would have grabbed the clip of I have a montage of when Kyle McCord announced his transfer and we found out that we were getting Caleb Downs and Will Howard and all of that. Hugh, you bring up the fact that the loss in 2023 was almost a turning point in the season, and I did a video back when that happened and just recapped all of the events and the changes that we saw at Ohio State. And when you look back at the video of what it turned into, it almost felt like you knew once Michigan went on to win the national championship, the Buckeyes were going to do everything in their power to go out and win themselves a natty the next year. And I said, oh, if we're buying national championships, I got 5 on it.
And that'll do it. Michigan defeats Ohio State 30-24.
We got breaking news on a Monday morning. According to our friends at 24/7 Sports, Ohio State quarterback Kyle McCord is set to enter the transfer portal. That's a new thing to do. The former 5-star recruit coming off his lone season as a starter there. Of course, after C.J. Stroud went to play on Sundays, passed for just over 3,100 yards and 24 touchdowns. He led Ohio State to an 11-0 start, of course, before that first loss that we saw against Michigan.
We scored 14 points in the fourth quarter. We put our fist up. We said we're not giving in. We're faster, stronger, tougher than you in the fourth quarter. And we got an elite edge, and we're not going to be denied. And now we're the Cotton Bowl champs. M-I-Z.
Bill O'Brien, the biggest addition to the Ohio State program.
That was the one. You know what? I was watching that, and that clip from Coach Drake. I'm like, man, if you don't shut up, bro, you wash Missouri any year, and he happened to play the one team without a quarterback, basically an inept offense, and barely won. I was like, be for real. I hope he goes to Penn State.
And we spun back next year and won the Cotton Bowl. How about that?
Please. I wish we were worse so we could play them more.
Q, I didn't even watch that full video. I scrolled past it the other day and it was fresh in my mind. And then when you brought that up, I was like, I should go grab that video. And when we played it, as the additions just kept rolling, like Quinshon Judkins, and then you just see Julian saying at the end, it's like, oh, cherry on top. Look at all these contributors to this national championship that you guys are about to go win. And oh, by the way, here's your quarterback of the future in waiting.
Yes, a crazy time. I think that shocked. I mean, honestly, that time in Ohio State pretty much shocked everybody because we've talked about this is when we were heavily negative, well, more than we are now, where we were like, I wish Ohio State would move like a top 2, 3 program should move, and that was the moment they were like, and they started to do it.
Was Michigan winning a national championship the defibrillator that the Buckeyes program needed?
Yeah, it was that Cotton Bowl. Watching that is as inept as it was, and I still believe to this day, people criticize for me. If Devin Brown doesn't get hurt, we probably win that game. I don't care how bad you think.
Big facts.
Yeah, I don't care how bad you think Devin Brown is. We still win that game. And then, regardless of that, the way the Cotton Bowl played out, and watching Michigan win the Natty, it was some had to change. I don't know what it was, but some had to change. They were like, we either gotta get rid of Ryan Day or we actually got to give him everything he's asking for, and they did, and we are where we are now.
We are where we are now, and at the top is where I would classify this program right now, and you hope the good times keep on rolling. And man, would it feel good to get a win over that team up north of like it feels like the final infinity stone. We talk about how much this program is transformed from that moment, in that loss of 2023. Still weren't able to right the ship last year, despite being in a national championship run. If the Buckeyes are able to repeat in a flawless year, it's going to be the most peaceful offseason you've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to
Oh, go ahead.
I mean, you're going to be able to talk crazy to anybody. The thing about this is you feel like the Ohio State machine is really at this point getting over this final hump against Michigan on Saturday. You feel like this machine is not really slowing down. And we saw, obviously Georgia be able to start that and not really be able to finish it. And that machine slowed down quickly. I mean, the way Ryan Day is moving, I mean, obviously we talked about Chip Kelly on yesterday's episode. So he's going wrong. Got a backup plan out there somewhere. If he's able to keep a certain alignment of level of coaches and this recruiting momentum, it's like, man, you could be looking at another, I'm not going to call it Alabama because that's just something that really we haven't seen before, but the start of a mini Alabama run right now if he's just able to keep those coordinators together and the ball keeps rolling. So it's scary times. Again, I think Saturday is really, we talked about yesterday, but Saturday is really the key for that.
Q, you talk about keeping the coordinators together. At what point do we look around at Ryan Day as like maybe he's the kingmaker? It feels like since the botched Kerry Combs hire, every hire by the Buckeyes has been a level up in some form for the most part. And you just watched him lose 2 coordinators last year. Next man up, and this team is just absolutely rolling. Are we at the point where Ryan Day has reached a point of elite staff assembler? And at this point, there isn't really a question about, hey, if there's turnover, I mean, how much more turnover can you anticipate? You replaced 8 starters on the defense. You replaced a quarterback. You replaced both running backs. You replaced both coordinators. Like, it seems like he is the best when it comes to the word that we love to use around here. We're done building programs around here. This is an NFL organization that Ryan Day is running right now, and he seems to be doing it at a higher level than anyone else. If he's able to beat this Michigan team, what's stopping him from taking over the sport?
Yeah, I mean, you make an excellent point. I mean, really outside the Kerry Combs hire and maybe giving Brian Hartline the chance a little bit maybe before he was ready or Ryan was actually ready to hand him over the leash, because what we see from Brian Hartline this year is vastly much better than what we got before. I mean, you feel like he has made those decisions. I mean, he made bold decisions in his first year, bringing in Jeff Hafley, getting Schiano out the door, and obviously making those decisions there. And obviously he's promoted young coaches and former alumni players. I mean, coaches that have played here, and you felt like they're really not going to leave unless there's just that golden opportunity out there that maybe they're chasing. Like, he's built a structure that you feel like, even with coordinators changing, a lot of these position coaches are pretty firmly sitting in here with Ryan Day and the way it's going. And you feel like he talked about it in the press conference. We'll get to that later, but talking about the chemistry he's built here. So, again, that's what Urban failed at and what Saban was so good at is hiring coaches when you have that coach's retention and people go out the door. And Ryan Day, to the early part, maybe with really the bold mistake with Kerry Combs and leaving him there for a second year. Outside of that, you really can't complain.
no, you really can't complain. It feels like right, and he's made tough decisions. Like, I mean, even pulling play calling from Kerry Combs while that his final season started to go bad. Hiring Matt Patricia when, I mean, you saw that we've done episodes on the comments about around that hire when it first happened. I mean, there are Michigan fans thanking us on the timeline for hiring Matt Patricia. I can't wait to dig those back up on Saturday and see if they still feel that way, or maybe they were right.
Maybe just hide those. Save them for next year.
Yeah, oh, bro. The amount of it's always disappointing going back through that bookmarks folder and unchecking a lot of them.
I feel like you got like 5 years of content to upload on Saturday. You know what? Heck, this win counts for them all. I'm letting it all go.
I always joke that I'm going to do a post of all of my almost edits, like, because I mean, sometimes you try to get ahead of things and you edit a little early, and you have multiple Michigan celebration videos that never came out. I have multiple I have recruitment videos that never came out. It's just that's always the disappointing part about creating content ahead of time. That's why I'm always like trying to be able to turn things around super fast, because I don't like editing ahead of time. One, I think it's kind of cursed, and two, it's just like I hate content going to waste. So I try to do things in the moment, but I would be lying to you if I didn't say I would have a couple things in the tuck.
Well, Ohio State has the victory bell, so everybody has their thing.
Should the Buckeyes ring the victory bell in Columbus before the game starts in Ann Arbor?
Until now, why not?
Cute. Well, I mean, the game is I'm done trying to guess how many hours away. Who knows when you're listening to this? But I wanted to talk about some of the predictions around the game, and the first one, and probably most notable one, from Josh Pate.
FanDuel's got Ohio State minus 10.5 right now. Our model's got Ohio State minus 10. I picked this game the moment last year's game ended. I am not going to be proven wrong in this game by Ohio State losing again. So I think Ohio State's the better team. Model thinks Ohio State wins and wins comfortably. Everything about my breakdown of the game leans me towards Ohio State. I couldn't care less until further notice. Michigan will win this game. Michigan covers.
Q. I mean, I was listening to it and I'm like, you know what? This is bullshit. And then he finished his point and I'm like, I mean, have we not lost all benefit of the doubt?
Yeah, you could tell they broke him. They really have at this point. He's like, look, man, until y'all get whatever is mentally blocking y'all out this way, I can't pick you, because I just got to come back here every year and say, and he's probably done it the last 4 years. He definitely has. He's got to come here and say, yeah, I was wrong again. So maybe it's the Josh Pate jinx. maybe it's not Chris Drew all this time. Maybe it was Josh Pate the whole time. And he's just like, look, you're not doing this to me again. Michigan wins, and then he also double dipped there. And I go back and tell you, Ohio State was a better team. I just thought they were going to screw it up.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, fool me once, shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
Can't get fooled again, Q.
I kind of wonder, was he talking about Arch? No, that's another show.
Q, I have another prediction that I wanted to get your thoughts on.
My score prediction for Ohio State, Michigan is...
My prediction is pain for those guys from Ann Arbor. 42-17. Ohio State is going to roll. We're going to take some of that momentum. Everybody was saying, hey, watch for Indiana, watch for Indiana. Watch Indiana just get smashed. Now we're going to go on. We're going to take down Michigan here in the big house, or excuse me, here at the Horseshoe.
Here at our big house.
Here at our place.
Hell yeah.
I'm so excited.
I think I grabbed an old clip.
Did you have a whole clip? That was from this year. Well,
no, there's no way that was from this year.
Well, he certainly screwed that. Well, I thought he said, because he said at the big house. Anyway.
Did he say it?
My score prediction for Ohio State, Michigan is.
My prediction is pain for those guys from Ann Arbor. 42-17. Ohio State is going to roll. We're going to take some of that momentum. Everybody was saying, hey, watch for Indiana, watch for Indiana. Watch Indiana just get smashed. Now we're going to go on. We're going to take down Michigan here in the big house, or excuse me, here at the Horseshoe.
Here at our big house.
It was. This is an old video. And the slip up was here in the big house. So yeah, that was from last year because he started talking about Indiana, and I was like,
yeah, I was like,
didn't play them.
I was following. Then he said the big house. I'm like, okay, maybe he just screwed it in. Yeah. So anyway,
how about the Payne? Are you expecting Payne on Saturday, Q? Regardless of the year, are you expecting Payne?
When he said 42-17, I'm like, well, that sounds about right. Like, if you go and Ohio State does what they're supposed to do, I can believe that would be the score. So, yeah, I mean, I follow him regardless of what year because we felt the same way last year. Like, if Ohio State goes out and plays the game they should, I definitely believe in that score. Carnell Tate, Jeremiah Smith plays, as it seems like they're trending to do. We will see. But, yeah, you can see that. I mean, I don't even know if I wish. The only thing I might change is I don't know if Ohio State does what they're supposed to do. Michigan scores 17. And that used to be your magical score. But it feels like Ohio State doesn't give up points like that. And with this secondary with Matt Patricia, I don't even know if they give up really that much. I mean, against rivalry game, we will see. But I can predict some pain on Saturday because you can tell by Ryan Day, you can tell by the players around, like they want their get back. And they said, hey, whether I'm 90%, 80%, I'm going. I'm trying to get what was taken from me. So I can predict pain.
What would you be willing to do if the Buckeyes are able to score 40 points and keep Michigan under 17?
If they see, why I always put this on me? Let's can't be an us thing. Well,
how about a what type of? It's crazy that we pick a punishment as celebration. How are we going to punish ourselves to celebrate?
Okay. If Ohio State goes over 40 and Michigan scores under 14,
17.
I'm trying to
17 is the magic number around here.
I know the magic number is, and I know what I said. There is a sandwich place with a sandwich so spicy you have to sign a waiver for it to get it.
In Arizona?
Yeah, it's here. It's called,
what's the name of the place?
Something chicken. I forget what it is. I don't know exactly what it is. I gotta look it up. But yeah, my boy took me there, and their chicken waffle was actually really fire. But their mild was spicy, so I can only imagine what the actual spicy one is. But I'll eat that on the show. I'll get the name and I'll have it for
Dave's Hot Chicken or Mrs. Chicken.
I don't think it's either of those. Actually, I can look it up. I'll find out when we run a commercial.
So you're willing, if the Buckeyes score 40 and hold Michigan under 17, you're willing to. All right. I'm glad I didn't even have to volunteer.
I'll eat the whole thing. I ain't gonna kill myself live.
Nope.
Live on the air, but I will try the sandwich. And I don't do.
All right. So here we go. That's the punishment for us.
And we get the 5,000 subs. We gotta get the 5,000.
I mean, we're gonna be at 5,000 subs by Saturday.
Man, they can screw it up. I gotta have some factors in here.
How's a podcast? I mean, why don't you just tape it? What are you doing?
You don't have to tape it these days, Frank. You just record it right onto the computer.
Dead air.
You heard it here first. If the Buckeyes win,
the sub count at the end of the game. You have till the end of the game on $4.99. I ain't doing it. I don't care what the score was.
So Q, if the Buckeyes hit that score, he will be correct on his prediction. Despite it being a year old, there will be pain. It may not be on Saturday. It will be right here on this show.
Yeah, it'll be pain. All right. I actually don't know how spicy that shit is. Oh man. Anyway, we'll see. But yeah, checking the sub count at the end of the game.
Well, Q, speaking of spicy, our head coach spoke to the media, and he was talking pretty spicy.
Of all the ways you could describe this week, is it fun to be the head coach at Ohio State this week?
Like I say, fun is kicking ass, and that's what we want to do on Saturday. So we're preparing to do that. There's nothing funny about this at all. But the fun part is winning. You know, the preparation is like that's what you love. You love the competitive part of this and everything that comes with it. Our guys came in Sunday came in here yesterday, got work on their own, and even guys in the building today. I mean, they got a good bounce in their step, and they look forward to this week.
Q, I don't know what I love more, the size of the bags under his eyes right now, or how calm he seemed in that interview. Ryan Day looks like he hasn't slept, but also doesn't seem a bit stressed.
Yeah, I mean, he seems chill. I think he knows now. I mean, people say Ryan Day doesn't understand the rivalry. He's been fully inducted at this point. You're 4 games in, going on 5 games. He's 5 games going on 6. Yeah, you're 5 games going on 6. You're looking here like, man, look.
6 going on 7 if you count the coordinator years.
I count.
Well, 8.
Well, I'm talking about as a head coach.
And you got to subtract 1 from that time that they had the cold.
Yeah, no, I count that one. 2 and 4. But anyway, yeah. So I mean, he's fully done in the game now. He's ready to go. So I'm very anticipating. Talking about anticipation for the game. I'm anticipation for Ryan Day on Saturday. I want to see what happens because that is theater.
Were you surprised by how calm he was in the interview?
No, not really. I mean, I feel like you're leading up all week. You know your team's that. You know what guys you got on your side. Like, we're not going to see that moment of, like, all right, we're here until the game starts flowing Saturday. Then you'll see it. He's going to be chill. It's going to be pregame. They're going to walk out looking like Jim Tressel, like real composure, walking in there, jumping around with his team. Pregame, you're going to see all that. But you'll see the true Ryan Day when that ball kicks off and it gets a little dicey. You're going to see what he's made of. So we won't see it now, but we'll see it then.
Q, he seemed abnormally calm and composed during that interview, and it made me wonder, does he have something up his sleeve?
And the last thing, I watched TJ's show last night, Johnny, and TJ was going on and on and on about, it's like they knew our signals. It's like they were coming right at us, like they knew what we were doing. And I paused, and everybody thinks I'm crazy.
That's not good.
But why is Chase Herbstreit on the team? I mean, you can't sign steal anymore. They use the radio. You can't steal that. And the catapult thing, the cloud sharing with the practice videos that OSU tapped into, but that story went away. That just disappeared. That catapult thing's gone now as well. So how else is Ryan Day going to cheat? I know. Let's put Herbstreit's boy on the team. What's he doing there? He's not going to play. He's never going to see the grass. They'll put Warren in before they put in Herbstreit. What, in education? Go to Northwestern. Go to MIT. Why is he at Michigan? Why?
That is a good question.
Why? What's he there for? It's not an education. He ain't playing ball. So what is he there for? And then you look at the Oklahoma game and you look at the Southern Cal game. If TJ's right, it's like they knew what we were doing. It's like, oh, okay. So maybe I am crazy, conspiracy theory, but yesterday.
Conspiracy theory, but it seems like Ryan Day is pretty confident about the game plan going into Saturday, given his demeanor in his press conference.
Yeah, I knew where you were about to go. I could see it happening. What again? Shout out to Johnny O. If you haven't seen the Chris Drew, Johnny O collabing and getting together to talk about a game, make sure you watch that video. Ron, I have to live my life as a content creator, as a podcaster, knowing I will never put together an entertaining piece of content like that ever. It can't be topped. I cannot do it.
Q, we have been doing this show for 200 plus episodes. That is hundreds of hours of content, and easily that is the best 81 seconds of content that we have ever produced, been a part of, had the pleasure of sharing on our show. It is pure gold. Q, I did want to get into what Ryan Day had, other things he had to say in the press conference. You have notes from what he had to say. I took a peek at the notes pre-show, and you wrote an entire book, and I was like, you know what? I'll hear about it on the show. So what did he say, Q?
Okay, I got you. If you didn't watch the press conference, we got some important notes from Ryan Day. So Ryan Day talked about Cardinal Tate and Jeremiah Smith, and he said, I quote, they're working really hard against to play against Michigan. Important though, the Buckeyes have not practiced since Day's call into the roundtable on Monday. They will practice on Tuesday, so it'll give you a chance for Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith to get some work in today. Ron, I want to ask you this question. How confident are you? We know you're confident in Jeremiah Smith. We've heard from him, haven't heard from his doctor yet, but how confident are you in Carnell Tate? Give me a 1 through 5 ranking that he will play. 5 being the most confident.
I feel like I have two camps in my ear. People that are like worrywarts and they're terrified that like, okay, there could be something serious. And then conspiracy theory. People that think that Carnell's going to be ready to go and like this is all smokescreen. So I don't know if this is like the SFE optimist in me, but I'm going to go with a 3.7. I am confident. Is that too much on the fence? How about a 4.3? I got a little bit more confident. I'm going to go with a 4.3 and say that I think Carnell Tate plays. I saw Coach Dirt quote tweet the Jeremiah injury report where he came out and said that he hopes to be good to go by Saturday. He just quote tweeted and said, "Duh, it's for all the money." And for someone from South Florida to know what this game means and how important it is, and it's not even someone that has played in this game, I would imagine Carnell feels the exact same way. So if he has any ability to go without the risk of re-injuring himself, I think he'll be out there.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you here right now. I'm setting at probably a 4 out of 5 that he's going to play. I mean, 3 weeks off, unless he has something really serious. I feel pretty confident that he'll feel good to go. And again, Carnell Tate, this is probably his last chance to beat Michigan, his last crack at it. So for him, that's going to be important to him. So I think he goes. But let us know down in the comments, where would you rank Carnell Tate 1 through 5 if you think he will play or not. Moving on,
we just broke our biggest rule of the week too. Said we weren't talking any more injuries. Here we are doing it again.
Every day. Moving on, Ryan Day talked about the potential of adding Chip Kelly to his staff we referred to earlier. He said, not thinking about that right now. Too much going on. I do think right now we have great chemistry. Right now we're going to stick with what we got. So not quite adding Chip Kelly maybe today, but Ron, I want to ask you, obviously we got the Big Ten Championship. We got the playoffs. Give me another ranking 1 through 5 of Chip Kelly being brought in as an analyst before the season's over.
47. I was scrolling through down to the soundboard. I'm scrolling down through the soundboard because I was looking for the sound for Stop the Cap, because we know he's absolutely going to end up on this staff at some point. Like, they're going to bring him in as some sort of analyst. Look, I put it like this. You may not get an official announcement that Chip Kelly has joined the staff in an official capacity. I will bet my life that you will see a picture of Chip Kelly in the Woody Hayes Athletic Center at some point during this playoff run.
Yeah, I can see that. I think DG put out the official tweet for Chip Kelly coming back as offensive analyst. So it's out there somewhere if you want to alert. But yeah, I just don't see it. If our offense was hitting on all cylinders and the running game wasn't, so it's working, it's kind of not working, I might be like, all right, well, maybe it just feels like we don't need Chip Kelly right now. But especially the way Chip Kelly orchestrates offenses and the run we went on last year, I mean, him not adding him back would be a question. Like, why didn't you? all fools goes as we get. Nick Saban used to do it all the time right for the playoffs. He had a coaching, so all systems go for that one. Moving on, Ryan Day talked about Bryce Underwood. He called him a dangerous player and also said that the Wolverines have talent all over the field. Ron, I want to ask you, what do you expect to see from Bryce Underwood Saturday? We talked about he hasn't thrown over 10 touchdowns. Talk about what Matt Patricia is going to do. Bryce Underwood is an extremely talented player. He can make plays. Maybe he doesn't consistently, but he can do that. What do you expect to see from Bryce Underwood Saturday?
I feel like this falls into our favorite category on this show. Is this not a fraud alert moment for Bryce Underwood? This is a guy that they said we've never seen a freshman like him. I saw people lying on the timeline saying a true freshman has never won this game. Q, do you know why that's an incorrect statement?
Why?
Because Whippio legend Terrell Pryor did it as a true freshman. So I don't know what people are talking about there. So I think this is an opportunity for Bryce Underwood to prove why he's paid $13 million. And this is also a reason for Matt Patricia to potentially remind Bryce Underwood why he's an 18-year-old freshman quarterback with single-digit passing touchdowns, and he's a 3-time Super Bowl winner. It's a great fraud alert moment for everybody. If Bryce Underwood, a guy that hasn't thrown double-digit passing touchdowns and has looked like a bottom-tier quarterback in the Big Ten so far this year, goes out and torches his defense, it's a fraud alert for our defense. People have been saying we haven't faced an offense or a team like Michigan. And Q, while I hate to give them any flowers, when you look at the schedule at this point in the season, is there an argument to be made this is the best team we're going to play?
Yeah, I mean, probably. I mean, before that, it was Penn State, but obviously with Drew Aller going out and their offense looking the way they were looking.
Before that, it was Texas, Q.
Well, yeah, I think Texas came in pretty fraud. Like, we played Texas, and I don't think they're a major fraud. Like, everybody tries to make them out, but they weren't a great offense, and they've proven that time after time. They've been a one-sided team all year. I think Penn State, while may have the same amount of names Texas does have on offense, I think their names came in here and will perform a little better than Texas's did, because they pretty much got shut down all game, and Penn State, at least for a half, made it look like they had woke up. So I'd say probably before that, Penn State maybe be the closest. But yeah, I'm with you. Michigan, obviously, they have some talent out there. Bryce Underwood has the ability to make plays, but we'll see if he does it. And again, Matt Patricia may look at it and be like, this is what you're running? All right, good luck. So we'll see how that happens on Saturday, but true fraud alert moment. Moving on, Ryan Day talked about playing the game with emotion. He says, I quote, you have to play with emotion, but you can't let it play.
Let emotions play with you. Is that what he said?
Yeah, that's what he said.
I didn't even read it in the notes because he said it so many times, and he specifically said it at the beginning of the season when talking about Jermaine Matthews and him finding ways to let his emotion allow him to be a leader for this team, but also finding ways to control them, that it's not taking him out of the play or slowing his ability to be great. And Q, we've been doing this too long. I know his coaching cliches. I knew as soon as you started saying the quote, and it's like, you ever see the again, this is my limited movie knowledge, but the movie Drumline, where he's at graduation at the beginning of the movie, and the principal's giving the speech, and he's repeating the words word for word, because it's like, I've heard this a million times. Like, all right, what are we doing?
Hey man, it's 12th game of the year. Like, you gotta repeat something.
No, I honestly, I can't blame him. We're 70 episodes into the season. I'm running out of shit to say too.
I'm sure I said the same thing quite a few times on this show.
How many times have you heard fraud alert?
But he continued. He didn't stop there. He said, you have to learn, if you repeat this one, this would be bad. But he said, you have to learn to use it as nitrous, not as a primary fuel source.
That's a new one.
Okay. They said the focus is for every player to grade out as champions on Saturday. Ron, we talked about emotion in this game, and obviously talked about the mentality shift with Ohio State, and we talked about the dumb moments that come in the game and when players get too emotional. So we're going to do an early over-under. We'll set the mark at 1.5. How many Buckeyes let the emotions play with you on Saturday? Are you taking the over 1.5? Or are you taking the under 1.5?
Let their emotions play with them, because I'm sure they're going to be playing with my emotions all Saturday. What's the roster at these days? 105? That's how many Buckeyes are going to be playing with my emotions on Saturday. But as far as Buckeyes that may let their emotions play with them, going over. Tensions are going to be high. They're going to be on the road. I know this team likes to get up for road games. They talk about liking the ability to silence the crowd. So I hope they bring their A game.
Yeah, that they do. Okay, I'm with you. I'll probably go to over as well. Okay, got one more for you. So we talked about this a little bit ago, maybe about a week ago, but we said Brendan Ennis talked about Day had a different look in his eye. So they asked Day that question. He responded to, and this was the long one you didn't want to read. He said, we're the sum of all our experiences. You learn from things and you grow from things, and you try to do everything you can, again, to put the guys in a situation to be successful. That's it. We're going to rely on our experiences going into the week. We all grow. We all do things well. We all have our failures, but you got to grow from them. That's it. This team here is a different team. They have a great look in their eye. That's the most important thing. That's the focus.
It sounds like this team is locked in and understands the task ahead of them.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that there. I think this team is a mature team, and I think they're a team that's mature, but also just fed up with losing this game. But I think they all have that focus again. Now that we've seen, you talked about Day earlier, and he might have something up his sleeve, but I think he's learned from his experiences. And I think, as we alluded to, they talked about when we played that clip of the Hex, talking about Day has overcome that and won't try to win a game a particular way, just try to go out there and win the game. I think he's learned enough to figure out, like, hey, let's put the ball in the hands of my best players and see what happens. If that gives me a downfall, it gives me a downfall. But I'd rather go out on my sword. And we felt like Ryan Day has not gone out on his sword the last few years and gone out on his shield.
Q, I don't want to spoil our entire over-under segment for the end of the week, but over-under 5.5 catches for Jeremiah Smith on Saturday, because I swear if this under hits, I'm throwing my phone through the TV. What did he have? 2 catches or 2 targets last year?
2 targets, I believe.
What are we doing?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Ryan Day knows what he was doing. I don't think Chip Kelly knows what Ryan Day was doing.
Oh, is that a conspiracy theory?
It might be, but I will say, one, it'll be disappointing if Zach Herbstreit has helped everybody else beat Michigan besides Ohio State on Saturday. So I know.
Do you give Zach Herbstreit a pair of gold pants if the Buckeyes win?
Yeah,
for his hard work.
I know he's the most NIL earning athlete ever to enter college sports, and it will be of all times, since he's getting paid by so many teams. But I will say I need Ryan Day to do what he does best and get the ball to his best players. When he does that, things will be all right. And again, let your players go out there and win the game. And we felt like Ryan Day didn't do that last year. We felt at times where, I mean, obviously Kyle McCord year, he tried, but they were thrown to the other team. But in other years, you just felt like it was missing that little bit. So we'll see if Ryan Day has truly grown. And like, again, you have better players than they do. Let those guys decide the game. If they fail, what can you say? I threw the ball to Jeremiah Smith 10 times, and he fumbled. I don't know. Anything happened, but at least get him the ball and give him the opportunity to go play.
Q, I think that's the best analysis that I've heard all week on this game. How do the Buckeyes win? Get the ball to their best players.
Yeah, let them make a play, man. That's all you can do.
That's all you can do. Q, that's all I have left around here. It is hate week. I'm done working for the week. You got any more work?
I'll probably have like a short day tomorrow, so which I'm not putting in. Oh, boss isn't watching this, but
Q, yeah, the week is over, but the content continues right here on Dead Air Sports. Let the people know where my week is over. There's a holiday week, a big game allegedly on Saturday. Not quite sure who's playing. Lots going on around here on Dead Air Sports. Q, let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a big game because they got the Iron Bowl going on somewhere, and it's somewhat important. But yeah, man, you can find me here, most importantly, on the Dead Air Sports Network doing the Buckeye Roast. Just want to throw everybody out there. Stranger Things is back tomorrow. I am a movie guy, so if you're a Stranger Things fan, don't forget it is dropping. But you can find me on City Boy Quittin on Twitter, Flying Johnson on Instagram, most importantly here, Monday through Friday on the Buckeye Roast. It is game week. We are chasing 5,000 subs, so hit that sub button, hit that like button. If you are a member, one, we greatly appreciate you. If you are not a member, there's a lot of things going on behind the paywall, and we're putting together a lot of content. And Chris Drew is working hard behind the scenes, along with my guy Ron over here. So make sure you do that. Make sure you help us out. Drop a comment below. We do some over-unders, 1 through 5s. Put them down in the comments. Ron, where can they find you at?
Q, they can find me right here on the Dead Air Sports platform. And if they 58 minutes into the video, if they're still listening during the outro and still haven't liked the video, I can only assume one thing.
I can't believe how selfish you all are.
I mean, it is what it is. You gotta like the video. It helps us a ton. Subscribing. We have a goal of 5,000 subscribers by the end of the game on Saturday. And Q made a promise that he will eat the hottest chicken sandwich in all of Arizona that he could find on the show if the Buckeyes win on Saturday and score at least 40 points and Michigan scores under 17. So keep an eye out on that because they promise pain on Saturday. Hopefully the Buckeyes are delivering it, and if they deliver enough of the pain, we'll be delivering some pain to Q around here.
Well, I did not say in all of Arizona.
Absolutely. He said the hottest thing that you could find, the hottest pepper grown in the desert, you would be eating on the show, I believe is what you said.
That's the hottest one I know. And I want somebody to come on this show.
Oh, so you need us to find you a hotter sandwich. Is that in the comments? Find the hottest food item in all of Arizona, and we will get that for Q.
I did not say all of that, but I digress. Continue.
Cooking with Q, the perfect way to launch the segment.
He was cooked. That's going to be the name.
First and last segment. Q, let me get us out of here before we do too much giggling and lose the entire audience. If you want to find me, you can find me right here Monday through Friday for the Buckeye Roast at 10 a.m. with my guy Q. You can catch me in the Bleacher Report app for instant reactions after the game. You can catch me with Chris Drew. And then on Twitter, you can catch me at 2Ts. It's 2_TES. Q, you know how this thing ends. It's always go Bucks. And of course, OH.
I-O.
When I hit the scene, everybody know me. 40 tucked in my skinny jeans. I'm so fucking low key. All hundreds, finna go get some cream. This another show week. It's a show week. Out the 7 days, I gotta pick up 40. Mama told me, baby, get you some sleep. Gotta turn down, move slow, please. I go home, rock my son to sleep. Gotta stay awake, get more of these. Nigga, you mad cause you ain't getting no cheese. Whole hood charge you whole fee. Sometimes there's no one to watch over me. Too broke, can't get close to me. Send an op, say hello to me. Number respect when approaching me. And don't act like you don't know it's me. Know that bitch somewhere close to me. And I ain't got no reason to be on that. You the one to avenge your homie. Even though I really be on that. Beat a nigga up if you want that. You can't even buy a whole lunch, Jack. Better get a clock and punch that. Used to run my hood like a rug rat. We went to war with one guy. Ain't lying, we'll go, they come back. All on defense, bust back. So they want me whack. 100 shots out the back of the lag. I spit that shit that you get hot to and make you want clap after that. Then try some shit that make you contemplate on it after the fact. Rap about the shit you living, nigga, what happened to that? I don't give a fuck about the rap game no more, nigga, I'm after the check. I ain't with the rap beef, nigga say my name once, I'm after his neck. Reach for 150, I'm